I haven't been this excited in a long time, and I mean it genuinely,
Yes,
right?
yes.
I'm excited for the industry. I'm excited for the country. I'm also a little bit selfish because I'm excited for myself. I'm like, is this the direction in which we're moving?
I'm excited for the story getting the light and the shine that it deserves to get.
Yes, we're talking about the brand new Netflix film, Silverton Siege.
We have the entire building surrounded. Surrender your weapons. Come out with your hands above your head.
Tell me what it is you want.
We want the immediate release of Nelson Mandela.
Another big interview on 947 Breakfast with Thando.
Joining us now, the incredible, legendary Andre Vosloo.
Hello. How's it, South Africa? Wat gaan aan?
Also in the building, the director, producer, co-screenwriter, award-winning South African cinematographer, Mandla Dube.
Yeah, boy.
Thank you.
Welcome, guys. Welcome to 947. Congratulations on just a phenomenal movie.
Thank you.
Mandla, I saw that this was a very important story to tell for you. I think earlier we were mentioning how it almost feels like it was your destiny to tell this story.
Yeah. No, it's wonderful to see it come to life and to have wonderful performances that come out of it. It came out when I think I was 10 years old.
Yes.
And my dad challenged, this is what happened on January 25th. At the Foskers Bank, what are you going to do when you grow up?
Right.
Imagine the pressure.
So, so it's just to realize it. And I think it was just day before yesterday, I was walking out with my son, and when it came out on Freedom Day, and we're walking out of the apartment, and there's going to be something with Lebo Mashile. It's going to happen on Facebook that Netflix has organized. And he says, gee, Dad, he's 12 years old. He says, gee, Dad, so if you really believe in something, it can happen.
Wow.
Right? I was like, yep.
But the but the events in your life were, there's one story you tell about how you were driving with your dad.
Yeah.
And you passed by the real Captain Langeman.
Yeah, that's when he said that to myself and my sister. We're in a vehicle coming out from Van Skyke bookstore and literally driving away from Chet Square where we shot the movie.
Sure.
And how old were you when this was happening?
10 years old.
10 years old.
Wow.
And then we drive up to the traffic lights, and then another car comes to the right, to his right.
Yeah.
And he looks over and he looks at us through the rearview mirror. He says, okay, that's newspaper article on the right there is a gentleman who led the SWAT team that went into the bank.
Wow. Arnold, let me come to you firstly. Just an incredible performance.
It's amazing.
Like, just an incredible performance. How did it feel to be back at home and to be able to create a film on that level? Right? Because a lot of people dream to go to like the US where the big budget stuff is.
Well, you almost expect that if it's going to be a big international film, it can't be from here.
Correct.
It's got to be an American production.
Yes.
It gets made in Los Angeles or New York to make it this kind of level.
Yeah.
Yes, no, from the first moment that I read the script, I knew this thing was going to be good. You sort of always follow a roadmap, and in the business, script is king. The script was fantastic. And at the first Zoom meeting with Mandla, which was really for them to check me out, I was like, hey guys, don't screw around.
To check you out.
I was like, hey guys, you hiring me? You got no choice. I'm on the plane on Thursday. I'll be in Pretoria. I'll be in Pretoria on Saturday. We're making this movie.
Yeah.
Let's go. And it was just a great experience. The rehearsal period, the shooting of it, and Mandla was our fearless leader. It was, part of the reason the movie is good. On the acting side of things, you guys congratulated me on the performance, and that's because Mandla gave us the time to rehearse. We had a good 5-6 weeks of asking all the questions, that you sit with the script and you wonder what kind of pajamas this guy's wear at home, stuff that's never in the movie, but you get to ask those questions in the 6 weeks so that the time you get on set where time is money, you can just shoot, those questions have been asked, you can just go.
Yeah.
So Mandla helped a lot in that and giving us the time to to sort of unearth these performances.
Yeah, I've got to say, just from Mandla, like, congratulations on this, because you know what? How I know something is good, right? And we had a big screening for the premiere at Monty, and Netflix hooked us up there. But you know how I know something is good? When you're watching something and not for a second are these real people. I'm talking
anything like
I'm transported into this world immediately. Not for a second do I doubt that Arnold is Captain Langeman.
Correct.
You know, not for a second do I doubt the three people robbing the bank were fighters. It almost feels like it's an action movie, but I'm there.
Yes.
I believe 100% of what's happening. You know?
I think another big part of it was the sets, right? I can't imagine how long it took for you to recreate the 80s in CBD.
Yeah, we had an amazing production designer, Chantel Carter, and an amazing costume designer, Rui Philippe. Both of them award winners, right?
Yeah.
And they took time, you know, and it just goes to show you that when you research, the results are going to be able to come out on the screen. And just to talk to what you talking about when you say that when you were engrossed into the, you know, like, wow, and this is really happening.
Yeah.
It's so the first lady was there, Dr. Motsepe, right?
Yes.
So Tshepo Motsepe. So she was sitting right next to me. And then I said, "Are you okay?" Because she was flinching, and I said, "Are you
it
okay?"
feels like she's in the 80s in Pretoria.
And then she said, "I'm very anxious."
Yeah.
So I said, "That's very good. It's a thriller. It's supposed to do that, right?"
Yeah.
So we took time, and in as far as the performances are concerned,
incredible.
We took time to be able to make sure that the actors, when they get in front of the camera, magic happens, and that comes from spending time to rehearse.
I think what was also really incredible is that there were so many storylines, if you may, that are running concurrently. There were so many messages, sort of nuances being thrown in there, whether it be, you know, colorism being one of them, looking at oppression in different lenses was also a big one. I think we saw the progression of your character, Arnold, sort of almost agreeing with what's happening initially, and then towards the end actually realizing these guys are not the bad guys.
Right. No, Langeman, for sure. He's been tracking these guys for months and knows all about them and is happy to lock them up. You know, and he was planning to lock them up in 30 minutes at that oil depot when they sort of staged to catch them. And then, of course, it all goes wrong and they got to chase these guys. They get them cornered. And for the first time, now he's got to talk to them. He's got to look into their eyes.
Sees the humanity in them. You know?
Yeah. He's forced to do that. And that it slowly starts changing him until the end of the day. He says that line, you know, he says to one of the other cops, to Dion, he says to Skuman, you know, what is the price of freedom? It's everything. Sure. He finally came around and realized that. So, no, I want people to watch it this weekend after the Bride.
I'm so excited. Like, there's so much more I want to ask.
Yes.
We're going to have to go to ads, but we're hanging out with Mandla Dube and Andre Vosloo more on Silverton Siege next.
947 Breakfast with Thando.
Monday to Friday, 6 to 9 a.m.
Arnold Vosloo, who joins us, portrays the character of Police Captain Johan Langeman. Firstly, am I saying your surname correctly? Because in America, they say what?
Vosloo.
Yes, in South Africa it's Vosloo, in America it's Vosloo.
Vosloo.
Yeah, Mr. Vosloo. When I check into a hotel, they say, Mr. Vosloo, are you Polish, sir? I say, nee, ek is Suid-Afrikaner.
Yes. Also joining us is the director, Mandla Dube. Mandla, this story is actually originally of 3 males. Right. What was the reasoning behind making the Terra character female?
Okay, so, you know, my producer and Walter Ayers and I have been talking to Netflix. I don't know how much time we have. But
no, go for it.
Really?
Yes,
so how we got into Netflix
we got
is
time.
that we were I was at a Durban International Film Festival trying to sell the film before Silverton titled Galushi, right? And so we're at this party dancing and with the lady from the NFVF and this guy walks past. And she said, "Oh, that's the guy from Netflix." I said, "Who? Him?"
Yeah.
She said, "Oh, yeah." And I said, "Okay, I just left her.
I'll be back.
I'll be back."
Forget
and
this
I
dancing.
grabbed him like, "Yo, hey!" And he jumped. His name is Ben Amadasi.
Yes.
And Ben turned around. He's like, "Oh, you know, why you grabbing? Like, can I help you?"
Come down.
You know. And I said, "Oh, no, listen. My name is Mandla." I was like breathing him like it was Mandla. I just gave him the whole. elevator pitch, you know. And then he said, "What are you working on now?" And, okay, we like Galushi, we like to see it, but what are you working on now? And I said, "We got this film called, Silverton Siege that we want to do, but we're here to come in." I'm always like, you're always working on 5 different projects.
Yeah.
And then he said, "Okay, send us a script." They read it, and then they liked it, and then the next thing you know, they're like, "Okay, well, we'll green light it."
Wow.
And then it's so as we're running, I said, "No, man. We haven't paid homage to women in the liberation movement, right?" And I had talked to Ayanda Zozo, Lindiwe Zulu,
Yes.
and Mambaleka Mbete, and they had told me how Owar Tambo used to call women in the struggle imbali zomzabalazo, flowers of the struggle. And that's what that's where she comes from. And then we named him Bali.
For that reason.
Literally,
Wow.
just for
That's
after Owar
amazing.
Tambo.
Wow.
Yeah.
And there's only one moment in the film that we actually know her name is not Tira, it's actually Mbali.
Yeah. When she's about to shoot, and then
Yes.
Arnold is right there.
Arnold, this story for you, I mean, you speak
He wanted to
about-
play, by the way.
Yes, you wanted to play Tira. You read the script and you were like, this is my character.
I know. I can do a lot of things, but I can't do
Can't be a
beautiful young black woman. I can't play that part.
Arnold, you've played many parts. The Mummy, Blood Diamond, 24, Bones, NCIS, The Blacklist. The list goes
on and on.
Like, I mean, what's that been like to be able to put your talent on just an international platform?
It's been great. I mean, I left South Africa to go and work, put myself in that arena. I think at the time when I was 27, I wanted to go to France because I thought they were making the best movies, but I couldn't speak a word of French, so I ended up going to America and working there, and it's been great. It's just been it's been wonderful, and it's nice that these movies sort of have a life of their own. I was in Tops a few days ago buying Hanepoort for my mother, and I heard somebody say Randall, 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 which is something a character of mine says in Hard Target. And I hear it 10 times a day when I put in gas in the car. And it was somebody in another aisle that just peeked out and they said the lines and I started giggling. So it's nice that these movies have a life of their own. Silverton Siege, that's opening now or is open, and you guys are going to watch it this weekend.
Yes.
When after your braai or whatever. I bet you in 5 or 10 or 15 years there'll be lines from that movie that people quote.
I love that.
Like what's the price of freedom? You know,
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
That's going to be on a T-shirt, stuff like that.
We actually got a voice note that came through.
Wow, this is amazing, man. I can't believe it's actually happening. Just a big shout out to Arnold and Uput Mandla. It's incredible to be here. Wandile from Johannesburg.
I think we mentioned you guys were going to come on the show yesterday even.
Yes.
And he was already in my WhatsApp saying, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm so
love it.
excited. I think it's really exciting times because I think, Arnold, in the past, you'd have to go to the States in order to make films like this, right? And Mandla, I think as a director, producer yourself, you'd imagine that you'd have to go to the States in order to make a movie of this magnitude. But here we are. Here we are making films with hopefully those budgets that reach those numbers.
Yeah, I remember Wandile was one of my students at Wits University, and his uncle, Bra George Mulebati, may he rest in peace, was the commander of the Silverton Trio.
Wow.
So when I told them as students, so I was destined to make the film, right? So when I told them in class that, I would like to tell the story because it traumatized me as a kid, and he comes to me at the end of the lecture, he's like, I said, what's wrong? Wandile, he's like, he's got his head down and looks at me and says, yeah, I hear you talking about Silverton Siege, My uncle was actually the commander of the trio.
Wow.
And he stood trial, he was on the front cover of Drum magazine or something like that, handcuffed, going to trial for the. So what I said to them in the lecture room was, don't go to Hollywood, let Hollywood come to you. And lo and behold, here it is knocking on our door.
Here it is, yeah. I mean, because of the streaming services, it's really democratized the business that we can do that now. By the way, Silverton Siege opened 24 hours ago worldwide, and I'm happy to report that we're number 4 in America.
Yes.
After less than 24 hours.
How's that?
That's huge.
How's that?
I mean, that's huge.
But you know why? It's because it's an action thriller.
Yeah.
At the basis of it's an action thriller, and it tells a story of ours. I think it's deep to all of our hearts. But if you're sitting in America, it's a, you know what I'm saying, you can watch it like it's an action thriller.
I think it's an eye-opener.
Yeah.
I think for the longest of time, they don't imagine we can do things like this. I think South African actors, directors are some of the best in the entire world. We are out of time. I could speak forever, but it has all the elements. And we thank you for telling this story. Congratulations. And
I thought we had all the time.
I said that. I lied. But it's been
Thank you.
fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you so much for having us. Wow.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Love
thank
you guys.
We love you.
Keep
Thank
doing
you.
what you're doing.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Yes.
Silverton Siege is currently streaming on Netflix.
Boom.
947 Breakfast with Thando.
Let the fun continue.
947